People are scared to hire.
Mm-hmm.
So according to research, specifically within our nationality, only 1% of Black businesses actually have employees. Think about that.
When,
Only
when you
1%.
talk about the data, the stats of it all, like
Yeah,
that's poor.
it's very, very poor. We already have a small number as Black business owners, right? We have a small number as being small business owners, but small businesses are what carried us through COVID. But still
Definitely.
only 1% have employees when it comes to African American businesses. Now, let's consider why that is, right? So we can take the defensive approach and say the system is set up not to treat us right. It's hard for us to get capital. It's hard for
Right.
us to find investors. I'm not going to steal away from that all of that is possibly true. But when it comes back to what's in your ability to control, is it that
Mm,
it falls into greed? Right? Because as a
mm,
solopreneur, you want to be able to keep the revenue. You're living off of this, especially if you're just starting and that's the only stream of income. You can have multiple stream of income and it not be enough necessarily, right? But are you scared to invest in your business? Does investing in your business only mean the capital you have to start? I want to start a business. I'm going to pull from my 401k. It's going to be $50,000. I'm starting. I'm getting some ROI on that investment. I'm doing numbers. Let's just say I have a record-breaking $1 million year. Are you taking that $1 million and proclaiming yourself to be a millionaire? Are you
mm,
only going to invest in the product or the service, but you're not investing in the people?
mm.
Order for you to be successful, you have to understand the power of investing in people. So this is why it's critical when it comes to being able to doing staffing and scaling and knowing what it takes in order to work those different verticals of your business where you do some talent and succession planning.
Mm.
Because I would know out of this million, I can take 250,000 and get 3 roles for the next 1 to 3 years. That alleviates a lot off of my plate as a solopreneur, now making me actually a CEO to be able to bring on help.
Mm,
Many of us, we just want to delegate without strategy.
that's good.
We don't want to invest in the foundation things and invest in principles that's really going to help us scale to growth because that's pulling away from the revenue. So investing in your business is investing in an HR structure. It's investing in a talent management structure. It's investing in an operational structure to
Mm,
know from the moment that me leader turns my key
right.
virtually or brick and mortar,
Mm-hmm.
what does my operation day look like? What does the operations of my business look like? From the moment I turn that key to the moment that I leave at the end of the day. If you're having to function in more than 3 areas as the leader,
Mm,
success won't be your portion long haul because you're too far in the weeds. You're the administrator, you're the payroll person, you're the receptionist, you're the business development manager, you're the accountant. You're doing way too much and wearing way too many hats when you have what it takes to be able to invest and scale to sustainable growth, but you got to get your priorities in order.
okay, first thing first, scale your success. And the things you highlighted, I had to put them in the chat because, you know, you proposed a question, what's in your ability to control? Does investing mean the money that you start with? Understand the power of investing in others. Talent and succession planning. Delegating without strategy. Like you drop so many gems, and then you said if you have 3 or more roles in your business, you should rethink your business model.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now, do you have a part two to this? Because this was chunky all by itself. Just the scale your success. That's one way to get us to reposition ourselves when it comes to our business as visionaries. We need to reposition ourselves and delegate with a strategy in place to scale for success, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Many
what would be
people,
next?
many people only think that it's about the revenue driver. So what happens when you're successful, the money comes. Like for me, I don't like a lot of online coaches and programs and things like that because you're going to receive what you need very high level. You can get a very high level strategy, but what
Mm.
good is strategy without structure?
Ooh.
So in all these different verticals of business, HR, operations, staffing, um, technology, development, finance management, what good is someone to give you a strategy, but you don't have the structure to be able to implement the strategy?
Mm.
So you're sitting on this wealth, right? Your business is profitable for whatever reason. It could be e-commerce, etc. But you're not scaling to sustainable growth. You want
Mm.
to be content where you are. So we want to move away from being solopreneurs and actually stand behind what it means to be a chief executive officer,
Wow.
what it means to be a founder.
Excuse
Because
me.
the ultimate goal is even for you not to be the CEO. Let me not speak for others, I'll speak for me. It's not to just be the CEO. Within the next few years, and when the business turns profitable, I want to hire someone that can take my vision, sit in that CEO seat, and I become the board member. Call me when
Mm.
you need strategy and you need me to sign checks. Call me when you need me to show up and talk to the people, because
Right.
CEOs are a part of the everyday operations. That is what they do. So what I want people to understand is you can be rich and reckless.
Ooh.
You can be successful and sad. You can be winning by landslides and lonely.
Mm.
Profitable in your bank account, but poor in your posture.
Ooh.
So what
Ouch.
totals your posture as a leader? What totals your posture as a leader is your mental health,
Mm.
is having reduced stress, right? Because we're not going to be naive. Anything that you're building, there's a level of stress that's going to come with it. But how do we manage that? There's no true leadership to be able to manage the delegation.
Mm.
I can't cast the vision and manage the day-to-day of it at the same time and still expect to come out on the other side and be 100% successful at it.
And be
So
100%.
where does that leave us? Many solopreneurs are walking around looking well with a broke back.
Ooh. That goes back to the posture. You know, when your mom used to say, sit up straight. And it's something that I'm practicing even right now in this live. I have to like practice sitting like this because I have poor posture. But over time, it tends to wear out the body. And then you start having back pains and, sudden aches and, and if you're not sitting that way, if your posture isn't poor, then you're not comfortable anymore because you're so used to that poor posture position. So it takes effort to work on your posture because I'm literally sitting here reminding myself, Angie, square your shoulders back, hold your head up, and I'm going through that. And I'm just thinking about everything you're saying. And I believe it's hard for a lot of entrepreneurs to focus on the effort of correction.
Mhm.
Whether that effort of correction means I'm constantly thinking about the money that I'll have to invest and what that means, the money that I won't receive. Or I'm consciously thinking, what can I do so I don't have to allocate funds to other areas? And can I be comfortable in my posture with the money that I am making? So I don't have to put the effort in correcting it. And I think that's what a lot of us do, um, as men of color, women of color in business. We don't get the education. We don't get the proper education. So there's a poor man copyright that we discussed, and you kind of, everybody knows this, you kind of mail it to yourself until you can afford to do the trademark or until you can afford the copyright, whatever it is. And we become okay with the poor man version of that poor posture. Because hey, that means I have to go to an attorney, invest $2,500, $3,500 to sit down and really put the money and the effort into trademarking this thing to secure it. But I don't want to do that. It's been working for so long with this posture. Why would I want to do this?
I'm glad you bring up that point because I'm very big on trademarking. You know, those that know me intimately be like, you know, you think you're an attorney sometime. I'm all about compliance and the law and making things sure things line up. You know, even by my trade and my practice professionally being in HR. But here's the thing with that. If you don't, sticking to your example of trademarking, and 5 years from now, somebody does trademark and spend that money that you have not, you lose everything. So this is where I talk about, even with the HR services that I render to businesses, is you don't realize you need us until you need us.
And that's what most of us do. We don't realize what we need until we need it, until our back is against the wall and there's a lawsuit, there's a court case, there's a drain of your bank account. Something has to go wrong in order for us to get the message. And what I'm trying to do here is to speak to the audience at all levels. So the analogy I use concerning poor posture, you may just be new to entrepreneurship and you don't have a clue what you're doing. And a lot of the things that Mr. Bradley is speaking on, you're just like, how does this pertain to me? I'm new. How can this be beneficial to me? How can the information in which he's sharing can be useful to me? Because what'll happen is if you cannot relate, then you'll keep strolling, or you'll turn the live off, or you'll become disengaged and you think, hey, that didn't pertain to me. But it does. It does.
It definitely does. And how it pertains is that you're in control on setting that foundation.
Right.
So I don't care if you come out the gate in your business and you're absolutely successful, you're winning it. People know you, the notoriety is there, your network is strong. When you realize you want to go to that next level and you haven't established a foundation, there's going to be one or two things. The floor is going to be swept from under your feet, or you're going to have cracks. And as you're building, you're leaking from the bottom. And it is so critical to be able to invest in the foundation. And I go back to this word structure on top of strategy so that you can be protected. So it's just not about putting up a website and running a business, right? Even if it's an e-commerce business. I have a business partner of mine, CBeyond Marketing Agency, Cynthia Badu, amazing brand strategist, website builder, etc. And she's been building websites for years, right? And she realized a niche one day that people don't understand the accessibility and compliance laws when it comes to putting up a website. What does that mean? There's specific coding and legal things that are required in your website that if I can't hear, I should be able to go to your website and click a button that assists me in understand what I'm reading or
Mhm.
pulls up the language of what I'm reading.
Mm.
Many business owners, something so small, so simple, wouldn't think about that. But if the FTC comes knocking at your door and you don't have it for any reason that a complaint goes on your business, you can be shut down. Again, foundation.
Foundation.
I had a discovery call with a client one time, had about a FTE of about 42 to 45 people.
What's FTE?
FTE
For the-
means full-time employees,
Mhm.
right? And with a mix of contractors, but no handbook, no policies. Her admin was the HR person, the administrative admin, the secretary, the coordinator to the business, etc.
Mhm.
Thought things was running smoothly, went ahead, downloaded a quick handbook offline, thought that was it, until someone left and filed an unemployment claim.
Mm.
And if you know anything about unemployment laws, when you file an unemployment claim, the first thing that they're going to do is say, we need the policy that
Right.
supports this termination,
Right.
why you let this person go. If there's no policy to support it, you've lost. And people don't realize when you pay someone as a business and your books are legit, you're paying into unemployment, and that percentage increases every time a claim comes against your organization.
Oh. Whew.
That goes a step further. Then we're going into they can file an EEOC claim. Now, when you
Yep.
start messing with the feds, I don't deal with y'all, right? But if they come knocking, they're not just going to go and say, we need the specific policy for that issue. We want all policies. We need to see all financial
They're
records.
gonna dive deep.
They're going to go for blood, and that can shut your doors. But if the foundation was right,
Ooh.
and we took time to put the structure in place for you to have the right HR practices in place, for you to have the right marketing in place, for you to have the right finance management in place. You can avoid so many issues.
Mm.
There's a saying that I say in comparing solopreneurs to silo corporate America. And what happens is in corporate America, when I work with leaders, and I've worked from the front line all the way up to your C-suite, I always state when we do your talent strategies and your succession planning, we're never going to create a role in silo.
Mhm.
So if I have an account manager one, what is the next phase? Is that an account manager two? Is that a senior account manager? Because when you place so much institutional knowledge in one individual and that individual decides to leave your organization, what are we left with? Not
A
only
mess.
have they left with the institutional knowledge, they've left with the knowledge that created the processes, how to manage the processes, and how to execute the processes.
Mm.
So if your Fortune 500 and 100 organizations don't run in silo, we moved away from that many, many years ago. Why do we want to do that as business owners?
That
What do we
makes so
not
much sense.
learn? How do you want to grow? And this is the question I ask clients, where do you see your business? If you see yourself as a solopreneur, you're not my client. You're not my avatar. If you see yourself and you're functioning as a mom and pop, you're not my client. Because even in building what I'm building, the goal is to be a Fortune 500 or 100 entity. If you're saying you want to make money, it takes it to make it at some point.
At some point. Whew, guys, I don't know about you, but I told you guys, get your pad and pen because this man is filled with information. Like so much information. And you may be saying, hey, I don't know how this applies to me. You may even be sitting looking at your business right now and thinking about what is my next move? How do I protect myself? How do I secure my foundation? And then proposing the question, where do I see my business? How do I see my business? And be honest with yourself. Are you running a mom and pop business? And it's okay if that's what you've done up until now. They say when you know better, you do better. And that's the purpose for this show, waking up your millions. God wants you to be successful. That business, that vision, that dream, that concept, that idea in which he gave you, that you walked by faith, and you stepped out and you begin to build. At the time, you did it with the knowledge that you had then. But when God sends someone like Mr. Bradley to begin to pour more into you, more knowledge, more insight, more beneficial entities to add on to your business that will help secure you, even the jargon in which he's using. I never worked in corporate America. I pretty much have been in the nonprofit sector and an entrepreneur my entire life. So when I started to listen to him, when he and I had the conversation, I was just like, I'm not the smartest person in the room. He's sharing things that I have no idea about. And listen, you cannot be intimidated when God sends someone smarter than you. Because 9 times out of 10, he sent him to position you for all that he promised you. So if God promised you millions and you waiting on your millions, the person to mold you into your millions is sitting right here on Wake Up Your Millions. So this is why I told you we need more than one, because I
So
want
much to unpack. So
I
much.
want the people to digest the meal in which you prepared for them. And it's heavy. It's heavy in carbs. It's it's heavy in starches. It's heavy in meat. Listen, it's heavy. And I'm just like, I have to stop here because I want them to be able to, like a good sermon. They say faith comes by hearing, and hearing of the word. They have to hear this word, digest this word, process this word. So then they can give you a call, or they can say, I need him. I need him. I need a one-on-one. I need a consultation, so I can begin to pray and ask God, to shift the fundings so I can get to where I can hire him. So even a consultation, guys, with the notes and the information that he has shared with you all today. We cannot be afraid of new knowledge. We cannot be afraid of things that we do not know. And we definitely cannot be intimidated when we are not the smartest people in the room, because it's going to take somebody who knows more than you to mold you into your millions.
That's good. Mold to the millions.
Mold you into your millions.
Mold you into your millions. Absolutely.
Yes, mold you into your millions. So we are definitely going to have a part 2, because this meal was like a Thanksgiving meal. It's like you waited for this for so long, and then when you get it and you devour it and you ingest it and you take it all in, you just want to lay there and go to sleep.
Gotta let it sit on you.
You got to let it sit on you, and you'll go back. And you're thinking the whole time, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back for more. So I'm not going to let you down. You will come back for more. And me and Mr. Bradley will bring you more. Are you in agreement, Mr. Bradley?
I'm in agreement.
You in agreement. Okay. So it's your girl, Angelica Norton. Many of you may have never met me, but I've been around quite some time. But I am the creator and podcast host for Wake Up Your Millions. Listen, y'all, God has more for us. God has more for us. And I'll be bringing some heavy hitters here to help mold us into our millions. It's gone are the days that we keep robbing Peter to pay Paul, only taking the money that we make and it reinvesting it and trying to pay ourselves with it. You know, we want businesses that's already in $1 million positions. So when you look at us on paper, we're $1 million business already, even if it's not in our bank account. And I'm going to let Mr. Bradley share more on that later, because he the one who taught me that. He was just like, you want to look like $1 million business because your structure is in place.
Absolutely.
Did I say it right?
Absolutely.
See, I was listening because he molded me into my millions, y'all. All right, so tell the people where they can find you again. And then I want you to give them one thing that they can do this week. There's still time. Today is Thursday. A new week does not start to Sunday. So listen, what can they do in these 3 days to sort of prepare themselves for our next meal, which is the next episode?
Absolutely. So you can find us at www.balliancegroup.com. If you are already established business owner, we have something on our page called a CSE, which is the Client Success Evaluation. It's pretty lengthy, but it gives us an understanding of where you are within your business and your building, so that we can assist you, or you can simply fill out our contact us form and request a consultation, and a member of our staff will definitely get back to you. What I would say take away from this is to really look at the vision that you wrote. And when you look at the vision that you wrote, begin to check off and not be scared to identify your needs. So at BAG, we do something called the needs assessment. We want to understand those areas of opportunity, so those areas of opportunities can become your strengths. But if you've been operating in places where you think you're strong and haven't gotten the guidance or the wisdom to identify those weaknesses, we definitely need to talk. So if that's your business, within before the week is out, assess, where are you? What do I need? What have I fell short at? What am I doing? What's making me exhausted? What do I no longer have the capacity to carry? And do not be afraid to invest. And that doesn't mean, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close because it'll take me somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean money. You don't always need capital for people. So when you have a strategy and a structure, and you say, hey, Yasin, I need to fill 5 roles. I don't necessarily have all of the finances to do that. Then let's start looking at some internship programs we can build out within your organization. People can work for free. People can work for equity. And let's
People
talk.
can work for free.
You know that, because people love saying, ain't nobody gonna work for free. What does free look like? Because money is not the only benefit. People need skill to hit the job market. People need to know how to show up. And when you get with the big dogs, people will take your equity before they take your paycheck.
Wow. Wow. Listen, guys, this man, and you may be following him on Facebook, on social media, on the various platforms, and he sits back so reserved and quiet. And I told this man when I met him, I said, God is a God of order, and sir, you are order. You are order. I believe God sent him to get his children's businesses in order.
Wow.
In order to be successful. Not the success that we have had. The couple hundred, the few thousand, where we waiting for tax season to get more than we made all year. Now, I'm talking millions. It's time to wake up your millions. It's your girl, Angelica Norton, and thank you for watching Wake Up Your Millions with Yasin Bradley. So guys, he shared his information. You have homework over the weekend. Until the next series, until the next meal. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Angelica. Be blessed.
All right, be blessed, guys.